The fully beautiful scenery after the rainy season attracted to the eyes of everyone, including Sri Krishna, the cause of all causes. Okay, let's understand. Yeah, Manoj, can we?
Hare Krishna. We should always appreciate the creative energy of the Supreme Lord. Beautiful nature, even though material and therefore temporary, is always full of glories of the Creator. There is a class of philosophers who condemned the material creation as false. They say that Brahman is the truth, but the creation is false. This is not good. The temporary creation is also a relative truth. It is, in fact, the temporary picture of the eternal creation. The forgetful soul has no information of the spiritual creation known as the Sanatana Dhamma, but the temporary creation gives an idea of this original creation. The devotees of the Lord, therefore, make the best use of the bad bargain by utilizing the temporary creation in the service of the Lord. Everything emanates as different energies from the Lord, and thus everything should be engaged for his service only. As soon as even temporary things are engaged in his service, they take on permanent values. The process of such engagement in the service of the Lord is what the sages call chikitsitam, or well treated. If we have some kind of trouble in the stomach from drinking milk, the physician prescribes the same milk in the form of curd, which is nothing but treated milk. Similarly, the temporary creation of the material world is undoubtedly full of miseries, but when accepted in terms of its relation with the Supreme Lord, the whole thing becomes as well treated as the curd. Everything accepted in full God consciousness has its spiritual value, and by the grace of Almighty, its material effects are diminished in terms of the increasing degree of spiritual consciousness. That is the process for cultivating the human spirit.
Yes, Nupur Mataji, what do you get from this?
Prabhuji, I think we have done this.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's all that is understand it. What do you get from this?
It says that you have to appreciate everything, not only in the spiritual world but the material world also, because this is also a part of the creation. It's not false, though. Even though it is a material world, it's still a part of the Lord's energy, and it is not false. It's still true. So we have to
Manoj,
appreciate that as well.
any other anger?
Yeah, angle is Prabhuji. We don't have any idea of the spiritual um, abode, right? But this material creation is replica of that to give us
Full
idea of
idea.
how the spiritual world is, and we have to use everything in service of the Lord, and that gives us the path to reach Him actually.
Yeah. See, there is a class of philosophers where they say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Vicharine Nirvishesha Shunyati Pasha Vishna. So there is a class of philosophers. What do they say? They say that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya.
Mithya.
That spirit is truth and this word is false. It's wrong because this word is not false. Correct? It's temporary. So they have some kind of a fear of this word. You know, they see they go to eat somewhere, and if you give them nice gulab jamun, they get scared because they think they will get trapped. So the metal energy, the variety of the metal energy, they are scared of that. Generally, they take to impersonal path after whole life of frustration and trying to enjoy this world. They get, tyagi. One kind of person is bhogi, one person is tyagi. Prabhupada gives a very simple example. Suppose somebody loses 100 rupees. Suppose, okay, you gone to some place in your hospital, Nupur Mataji is sitting, and 100 rupee he has left on the table and ran away, gone away. So the bhogi means you'll keep in your pocket. You are a thief. A tyagi, oh, money, dangerous, dangerous. I want to take it, but I should not take it. It's not good. The tyagi. Okay? And you maybe your experience of getting caught and being, insulted, so you not want to touch somebody's money. But the bhakta is the greatest. What does it do?
Use that in service of the Lord Prabhuji.
No, that takes that is not good. People will say you're
Okay.
still thief, money is lying on the road, you bring and put on the hundi and that's it. No. What you should do, if you, I'll just take an example, what he will do as a bhakta. He'll find out the person to whom that 100 rupee belongs and give him that money. Isn't that the best? So when Bhogi looks at this world, he wants to enjoy this world. He
Yeah.
gets enchanted and harassed by the varieties of this world. And today morning I was taking class, a long class, Kama Ashritaha. People are taking shelter of sense gratification. And the mind, when you're withdrawn from our activities, when your office is over, you go back to sense gratification, which may be Gramakatha, because everything is loaded with sense gratification only, correct? Because any content has to have some energy in it, otherwise it's dead. It's like if you read any information, but if there is something in which you are attached to, you get interested. There should be something for you to get interested. I was taking an example. You in front of a Vaishnava, you show Gramakatha, he's not interested. You showed a Brahmana, he's not interested. A Kshatriya and Vaishya is interested because they want money and power. They're interested, correct? And then Shudra, he sleep, he's not interested. So Kama Ashita, this world, the whole information that is bombarded to you is not coming just like dead letters. It is loaded with metal energy. And we take shelter of that in a subtle way. Something is very gross gratification. Something is subtle. You're drinking that, constantly drinking. Your heart is Kama Ashitaha. In different varieties and shades, you are drinking sense gratification. Maybe my country is great, my Bharatvarsha is great, whatever you're drinking, all this is sense gratification. You're drinking varieties of sense gratification, and correct, it's all part of your false ego. And it is feeding the false ego. Ahankara is big fat. It's like, you have a boss in your office. What do? They call it ego massage. You tell, oh, sir, whatever he thinks great about himself, we keep feeding food to that. And he has the appetite for that. So, but devotee takes shelter of Krishna. So he, in a different way, he relishes. And he even connects with word. He offers even this world to Krishna. So he's not scared of this world. It is said, Vishwam Purna Sukhayati. For a devotee, this world becomes Vaikuntha. He is always ecstatic seeing this world. But a Mayavadi, a karmi, is scared when he sees this world because he's a tyagi. But the tendency of bhoga is always there. So he keeps falling on it. Bhoga tyaga, he just goes in a pendulum, just like you want to eat something, you want to enjoy some music or whatever. You enjoy it, you get sick of it. So bhoga, and then you get sick, you come back like a pendulum tyaga. Then after some time, you again go back. Just like every weekend, what happens, Manoj remembers? In engineering colleges, all the friends drink and come, they vomit, and then they say, not going to drink again. What happened, Nupur Mataji? Girls also do that in America?
I'm sure they must be doing it. Everyone
Oh,
drinks here.
you keep away?
I don't want to drink.
No,
No.
I'm not saying drinking. I'm saying your company, there are no friends like that who come on the weekend drunk and they say, I'm not going to drink again. My health is spoiled. This is the last I did. And next week again they go.
Oh yeah. No, they don't even pretend now. They're like, it's okay. They like it.
Manoj, have you had any experience like that?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
They on the weekend they get sick, they vomit, they have bad health.
Not in
They have
Mangalore though. Mangalore we didn't have, sorry. Here it's okay. But my roommates are okay.
they're good people. No, but generally nowadays you are in different kind of college. Engineering colleges we have that experience. Students do drink on the weekends and then they curse. Many of them curse. They're not going to do it. The last time I did, next week again they do because they have no other taste. So if we cultivate higher taste, it is able to come out of this kama ashritaha. And kama ashrita is a definition Krishna uses in Bhagavad Gita of demons. Demons take shelter of sense gratification. Like Arjuna also in the first chapter was behaving as a kama ashritaha. But later he became Krishna ashrita. He takes shelter of Krishna. He's a Nitya Siddha, associated with the Lord, but there's an example. So we also, as an example, should take shelter of the Lord. And then this world is not dangerous. When you take shelter of Krishna, even though sense objects are there, senses are there, but your senses behave as if their poison has been removed. The senses become like snakes without poison. So you go in this world, you're engaging the whole world in Krishna consciousness. Because of happiness which is there within your heart, core of your heart, the material energy does not bite you. You're peaceful. You're ecstatic. You're offering the whole world ecstatic to Krishna. Correct? Just like Hanuman went to Lanka. It says when he saw Ravana, he was surrounded by beautiful girls. He was a big sense gratifier, Ravana. So, and he could not find Sita there. So he saw so many women all around Ravana, all beautiful girls lying not properly dressed. He was not disturbed. He was in ecstasy to serve his Lord Rama. You understand? And when he saw Mother Sita again, he did not think in any wrong way like Ravana. Ravana saw Mother Sita, he became so mad. He did such drama to kidnap her, took all the risk, got his whole family killed just because of the woman. And Hanuman now. In fact, he offered to Mother Sita, I can take you now. If you want now, I'll take you back. Let us finish. She said, no. I want this crook to be punished. I'm not going to solve. So whatever reasons, it shows how much same scene. He's also seeing Mother Sita and he's also seeing the same metal energy is Krishna's energy. It represents the Lord's energy. But when a bhogi sees it, it jumps for sense gratification. A jnani sees it, is scared of it. A devotee is not scared. Just like I gave an example of a bar. Suppose there is a bar near your hospital. So if you are a bhogi, you say, I wish I could drink one bottle. If you're a tyagi, you walk on the other side of the road. No, I don't want to. I'm not going to drink it. I'm not going to drink it. If you're a bhakta, see, if we get chance to talk to somebody there, you're not scared being inside the bar. Maybe I can talk to some people. We take a precaution, and to the degree we can handle material energy, we are careful. But there are rules of ashram which protect us. At the same time, the world is beautiful. So we can describe, you see, there is so much discussion of the beautiful world in Bhagavatam. But this world, where Krishna is there, therefore it is spiritual. The devotee also sees this world, he connects to Krishna, he offers this to Krishna. And by seeing the beautiful, you see that? Always full of glories of the Creator. For a devotee, it's not fearful. Rather, it is glorifying his Lord. Because he sees in another way. Okay? Always full of the glories of the Creator. Very nice line. See, the class of philosophers condemn the material creation is false. They say Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Spirituality is Satya and this world is Mithya. But it is not Mithya. It's a wrong philosophy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if this God is truth, how can his creation be false? It's also truth. It's temporary. Prabhupada said that is not good. It's a temporary creation. It's a relative truth. So we don't have information of the spiritual creation. Just like another good example to explain this point, we can always remember is water. So some people look for water in the forest. They are karmis because there is no enjoyment, they're looking for it. They're looking and looking. Kama ashrita. They're looking for water in the desert. There are some people who know that this kama ashrita is not working because there is no water in the desert. And they don't look for water in the desert. But still they will not be stable because we do need water. It's not in the desert, but you cannot live without water. The devotees know where the water is. That is Krishna's lotus feet. So they are most intelligent. It makes sense, Nupur Mataji?
Mhm.
Bhogi is looking for water in the desert, and a Jnani knows there is no water in the desert, and Bhakta knows where actually the water is. So in this way, the philosophy closes. 29. Any questions? This makes sense, Manoj?
Yes, Rohit.
Anything to add on that? Nupur Mataji?
No, Prabhuji.
It's clear? Chalo,
Yeah,
we
I
will
understood.
continue. Thus, the rainy season came to an end, the autumn began, and there were no more clouds in the sky. All the reservoirs of water became crystal clear, and the wind was no longer forceful. And the wind was no longer forceful. Lord Krishna, along with elder brother Lord Balaram, thus lived in Vrindavan in auspicious season. Because after rain, there is a time, autumn. Yes, Nupur Mataji, you can want to read.
Yes. When the sky is clear of all clouds, there is no longer any distinction between the portion of the sky that was covered and that which was never covered. Similarly, when the living entity, now covered by the modes of material nature, is freed from ignorance, passion, and so called goodness, he becomes one with absolute truth. Such oneness is called mukti, or freedom from miseries of material life. There are 5 different kinds of mukti. Impersonalists prefer to merge into the existence of the transcendence, but the personalities or devotees do not annihilate their individuality, and thus the devotees of the Lord individually enjoy spiritual variegatedness on the planets of the spiritual sky. The material sky, the material sky is also the spiritual sky, but it is covered by the modes of material nature. This material nature is also a temporary creation of the Lord, as the cloud is the creation of the sun. When the cloud of the material modes is cleared off, the material nature is said to have been annihilated. There are 2 kinds of living entities, namely the conditioned and the pure. It is for the conditioned living entities that the material nature is created, and the conditioned souls are put into it to become pure, unconditioned souls. Those who become unconditioned by devotional service enter into the eternal kingdom of the God. And those who lose the chance rot in dormant material conditions, sometimes manifested and sometimes non-manifested. Lord Shri Krishna descends to reclaim the conditioned souls.
I don't understand this. You have done this one. You know how?
Mm.
So-called goodness, we read this line.
Yes.
Okay, is this clear? Is it clear? What are the 5 kinds of mukti? You know, no? Sayuja, Samipya, Salokya, Sarashti, Sarupya, and devotees rather take to devotion service. They don't take Sayuja. Material sky is also spiritual sky. How do you say that?
It's the material sky is also the spiritual sky. Only the material uh, world is covered by uh, it says the modes of material nature
Correct.
because
See, there
it's
is a
temporary.
covering of the material
So it's
world.
like a cloud. Mhm.
The material world is like a seed. Okay. You know, the Mahavishnu is in the spiritual world, and pores of his body, the universes are coming out. So it is part of the spiritual sky. It is said in the spiritual world. Suppose you look in the sky, small cloud, and that is where Mahavishnu goes and lies down. So it is part of the spiritual sky, just like a jail is always part of the city. So we are within the spiritual world, but a jail, and it is covered. So any direction you go and you keep going, you'll enter the spiritual world. Any direction you go, 360 degree, you'll enter the spiritual world, because like a seed, where inside the seed, which is covered by the three modes. So if you follow the rules and regulations of your ashram and you continue practicing Krishna consciousness, definitely you reach the spiritual world. 30th. In autumn, all the reservoirs of water become enriched with growing lotuses. The muddy water again become normally clear and decorated as fallen conditioned souls once again become spiritually enriched in devotion souls. Oh, we have read this. We have read this. A beautiful one. Let us read it again. Manoj.
Yes. We should not be disappointed in our muddy life of material existence, for as soon as we voluntarily take to the devotional service of the Lord, our whole life becomes clear like water in autumn. Devoid of our relationship with God, our life is barren, but as soon as the muddy mind is cleared by spiritual association or cultivation of the human spirit, the threefold miseries of material life are at once cleared off. Thus, the lotus of knowledge gradually fructifies, and this gradual process of development ushers in transcendental bliss. The whole spiritual process is technically called yoga or linking with the Supreme. It is something like a long staircase, and the upward steps are variously designated as regulated work, transcendental knowledge, mystic powers, and ultimately Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. Bhakti Yoga is pure and unalloyed, being entirely beyond all the preliminary steps. Such unalloyed devotional service in favor of the Supreme Lord was displayed at Vrindavana when the Lord descended there, and thus the yoga exhibited by the gopis of Vrindavana is the highest unalloyed love of Godhead, the perfection of Bhakti Yoga. To rise to the stage of love shown by the gopis is very difficult, but this stage is attainable for serious conditioned souls. Unfortunately, cheap neophytes make a show of the transcendental ecstasies of the gopis, bringing them onto mundane plane for perverted manifestations and thus clearing the way to hell by such unwanted caricatures. Serious students of yoga, however, practice it seriously, and thus they attain the highest perfection of bhakti yoga as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Yoginam api sarveshan. Guruji, called
Yes.
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां स मे युक्तात्मो mata. All the and all of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all.
Yogi Nama Sarvesha. Yes, Nupur Mataji, what did you understand? Very nice. First line itself started by a great compassion.
Yes.
You look at our life, is that only muddy life of
Mm.
material
Hare Krishna,
existence? Huh?
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
sir.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, everyone.
Pankaj, welcome.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
You
Krishna.
Krishna.
finally made it in.
Yeah.
Huh? I'll send him also. I mean, one more person has been trying to come in. Yes. It's not disappointed in our muddy life of material existence. Our life can be like a muddy life, Prabhupada says. But as soon as we, yes, Nupur Mataji, you say, I'll add up if something is needed.
Yeah. So they they say that you shouldn't be disappointed because you're in the material world, and you know the material world is full of misery. But um, as soon as we take to devotional service, our mind starts to clear off, and then it's compared to the lotus, like how um, the lotus comes out from the mud, it grows from the mud, but ultimately it rises above the mud. So that's how our mind is cleared off.
And
And
the lotus is the knowledge that start fructifying in that mind, है ना? So my
yes, and then slowly and gradually we achieve, in that spiritual process, we achieve that transcendental bliss.
yeah, spiritual
And
happiness
they,
starts manifesting. So devotion service is always voluntary, correct?
mm,
Voluntary means it's an option, it's not a force. But when I take to devotion service, what happens? Step by step, the first our mind becomes clear, like water in autumn, and then 3, 4 miseries go off, and then the knowledge starts fructifying, and then we get spiritual bliss. There is a shloka of Shishtastaka which says that, you know the Shishtastaka part 1, Pankaj, Cheto Darpada Marjana.
No, Prabhu, not
Sing in the
remembered now.
morning, no? Temple they sing after Mangalarti.
Like actually, in morning I can't. Nowadays I couldn't go in the morning.
Okay, you go in the evening.
Yeah,
Okay.
evening will go.
What happened? You finished your training or you're still training is
No,
pending?
no, no. It's December 6th December. It's finishing off.
Okay, come. Then you come to Mangalore.
I'm going Delhi. I'm going Delhi.
Okay. So Cheto Darpada Marjanam, there is a very famous shloka that when you take to Krishna consciousness, first thing your heart becomes purified. Bahu Mahatavag Nirvapanam, your existence, all anxieties get over. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarana Vidya Vadu Jivanam, your knowledge start manifesting. Prabhupada is quoting from that. The lotus of knowledge start developing. And Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam, that every step you drink nectar, you experience transcendental bliss. So the same thing here. And this is a long staircase. I think we discussed this also previously. Actually, Bhakti Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. But when there is a contamination, that becomes other yoga. Otherwise, yoga means Bhakti Yoga. But when there is a contamination of fruitive activity, person has so much desire for personal enjoyment that he's not doing Bhakti Yoga, doing Karma Yoga. Then he has Jnana Yoga, when there is a desire for knowledge not connected to devotion service. But pure Bhakti Yoga is highest. Being proper says we should not make sahajiya, go through the process step by step. Unwanted caricatures, don't do anything cheap. Practice it seriously, then attain the highest. It's actually difficult to practice it seriously unless you are in an association. That much determination nobody has in Kali. Just like together we are there now, we are able to keep our mind away from other things and discuss this writer Bhagavata. But I tell you, if you were not together, it would have been very difficult. What do you say, Nupur Mataji? You
yes,
understand?
for sure. Yes.
It's only by group work we can somehow keep ourselves. It's not like Prabhupada landed in America, is absorbed in his guru's mission. We are not on that platform. We are like, there were two kind of students. If you remember, in our time, when we studied, hardly there any tuitions were there. We could study on our own. We used to sit with the book and study. No tuition, nothing. But today's situation is that the student people are so distracted. They need to go to coaching because they teach them there. They can't study on their own. On their own, they will sit at mobile, play games, children today, watch movies, or gossip in Facebook, WhatsApp. They just can't study. So when there is a coaching, they are forced to study. Correct? Their mobiles not allowed, no computer allowed, no interaction allowed. They have to again, like a very elementary. In fact, their examination paper is simpler than ours because there is no wisdom. They just cram. They are forceful teaching. And when they go to college, they struggle because they can't study on their own. You see, the sauce, Pankaj,
Yeah.
ज़्यादा लोग सब
Correct.
कोचिंग करके ही आए थे, खुद तो कोई नहीं पढ़
Yeah.
सकता.
No,
कॉलेज में
no.
आते हैं वो है ही नहीं हैबिट, खुद 5 मिनट
Yeah.
बैठ के पढ़ नहीं सकते, है ना? याद
No, correct.
है ना?
Correct. Yeah.
So that is not there. So similarly, we are also a product of the Kali Yuga present age. So it's very difficult for us to sit and say we can read proper books 2 hours a day. It will be a dream if we can do that. You will totally change in your whole personality if you can drink the love of Krishna, which is there in the books that we discuss every Sunday night. We decide, Hannah Manoj,
Yes,
from Monday I'll read 1 hour, but it cannot be done because we don't have the power. So in association it is done. Only in good association we can do. Okay. Practice it seriously, but in association, thus attain the highest perfection. That is Bhakti Yoga. So the Bhakti Yoga is the highest, as declared in the shloka. That other yogas are mentioned because they are steps to that yoga. People who are doing Karma Yoga, that is also part of Bhakti Yoga, because without Bhakti, there is no Karma Yoga also. There is, you're offering results to Krishna. That is Bhakti. Otherwise, it's not Karma Yoga, it's just Karma. Karma Yoga. Many people say, I'm doing Karma Yoga. They're not doing Karma Yoga. They're doing Karma. They're doing Karma Bhoga. Do you understand the difference between Karma Bhoga and Karma Yoga?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Karma
Give me
is
an
for
example.
like selfishness comes in karma.
Yeah,
But in
any example, Manoj?
Dedicating the fruits to
Give
the
me an
Lord
example.
is
Give me
karma
an example.
yoga.
See,
Karma Yoga, like
you get 100, 500 mangoes. You say, I'm going to eat, you bring a basket to say, I'm going to eat this. That is Karma Bhoga. But you think, okay, let me
If you
first
offer
some
it to
of
the
the
Lord,
mangoes, let me give it to Krishna. That is Karma Yoga. Huh?
that is karma yoga.
Karma Yoga, you are
that's Karma.
sacrificing. But still, there is the tendency to enjoy mangoes is still there. Therefore, it is Karma Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means he just offers it to Krishna. And, just like in a temple, you go and give some banana or what they give, coconut in South India. So they always give you something back as prasada for yourself. Correct? So you do get some prasada, but you're not asking, you're happy. Some prasada for your maintenance, always you'll get. So that's how we should look at our life. Our life, we should see, is for dedicated to Krishna, whatever we get in our life. But at the same time, we do have our maintenance. We look that as a prasada. Just like suppose somebody makes a table. And now he's using the resources given by the Lord to make the table. So the table still belongs to Krishna. So all he can get is the maintenance. Suppose you go somewhere and you make for the person a table. Okay? And if the person gives you a wood, he gives you instruments, he gives a design, and you make the table. And then when the table is made, he says, I'll take the table. The person says, what? Keep the table. Table is mine. He'll give you some maintenance, correct? We give Rojgar, we give. And so here, Mangalore, I think it's 700, 800. How much is in your place, Pankaj?
Same, 500.
Maybe a little more in Mangalore, I feel. So something you have to give the maintenance to the person. He has a rightful claim on that maintenance. So similarly, we can take what the Lord is giving us as maintenance, but we offer to Krishna. Then it becomes Karma Yoga. And Karma Yoga, because there is a lot of sacrifice, there is a lot of purification of the mind. And then person start thinking, who's God? Why I'm sacrificing for God? Then it leads to Jnana Yoga. But then when he's understanding in Jnana Yoga, God is there, he meditates on God. That is called Ashtanga Yoga. And when he sees the Lord, he surrenders to him. That is Bhakti Yoga. So generally it goes step by step. But in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows there is no time for that. What do? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram,
Ram, Ram, Ram, Hare
mystic process. You sit down, attentively chant this, you immediately find ecstasy, bliss. What is this? You've been directly thrown from the lowest platform to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, this yoga is mentioned. But chanting of Hare Krishna, there is a tape where Prabhupada says why we should chant Hare Krishna mantra. Prabhupada has a lecture on that in Science of Self-Realization. From there, if you study, we can take it like that. Okay. Nupur Mataji, how much we go?
It's up to you, Prabhuji. We still have. We
You
can
tell
do
me.
one more if you want.
Huh?
We can do one. We can do one more if you want.
We do 31st?
Please pick up line.
We do 31st?
Yes.
The four prominent features of that there is no water in the sky. The weeds that grew here and there in the rainy season will wither away. The muddy roads and fields dry up, and the ponds of water become crystal clear. The four features of the autumn. We have done this for autumn atmosphere are compared to four orders of life. Chalo, let us understand. Who's going to read? Pankaj, you want to read? Is it visible to you?
No, it's not visible.
Manupur Mataji can read.
Okay. In the Varnashram system, the student goes to the ashrama of the master to take lessons from him and serve him, even as a menial servant. These troubles of the student are at once mitigated when he attains a transcendental knowledge in terms of his relation with Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. As the white clouds no longer bear the burden of water in the autumn sky, the student finds that the troubles of drawing water for the master becomes a burdenless job if the student, by the grace of his master, attains to spiritual knowledge. Householders who beget children without restrictions, like weeds in the rainy season, become solitary as soon as they attain to the stage of devotional service. The family planning of a godless civilization cannot check weed-like unwanted population. People should learn to check sex life by voluntarily restraint. This voluntary restraint is possible when one is dovetailed with the service of the Lord. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Visaya vinivartante niradharas
Niraharasya.
Dharasya Dehina Rasavarjam Rasopyasa Param Dristva Nirvatate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste of the sense object remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Well-situated devotees of the Lord refrain from materialistic sense enjoyment, for they are attracted by the beauty of transcendence. Forcible restraint by regulative family planning or similar artificial means cannot work very long. One must be attracted by the transcendence. One can give up the inferior quality of enjoyment as soon as one receives the superior quality of spiritual enjoyment. So, family planning is successful when one is engaged in the culture of the human spirit. The Vanaprasthas who voluntarily avoid cleaning themselves and who allow their beards and nails to grow no longer feel the discomforts of these burdens when they engage in the service of the Lord. And above all, the mendicants who take a vow to refrain from sex life no longer feel sexual urges when fixed in a transcendental service of the Lord. Therefore, in all four of the spiritual orders and the four grades of social life, devotional service to the Lord is essential. Without this relationship, all the regulative principles of Varna and Ashrama become burdensome duties as they have in the age of Kali. When the regulative principles have no aim, the Varnas become a caste system and the ashramas become the business of various shopkeepers. All these anomalies of the present social system can be reformed only by cultivation of human spirit in the devotional service of the Lord.
So nice purport. Manoj, figure out each one of the things.
Now, Prabhuji, 4.
Prominent features.
Okay. No water in the sky, Prabhuji. No water in the sky. So that is here explained as
White cloud.
yeah, students finds that the trouble of drawing water for the master becomes a burdenless job. The student, by the grace of this master, attains to spiritual knowledge. Prabhuji.
There is no load.
Yeah.
No load. No water in the sky, referring to load on the cloud. So see, they say, just like when the mother takes care of the child, she doesn't find it work. She enjoys it. Correct? You're playing with a child. It's not work. Manoj, is it a work? You have fun,
No.
correct? True. So when
Yes.
you like to do something, it's not painful, it's pleasurable. Okay? They say if you start enjoying your work, you don't have to work anymore. There's the famous saying, one philosopher. Because work is when it's a pain. You don't want to do it, you have to go to office, you have to sit, you have to make those stupid programs again. That's work. But then when you love to do something you're doing, that's not work. You can do it 24 hours. Correct? So the brahmachari which develops love for his spiritual master and Krishna, so no longer that becomes burden. It does it with great pleasure. That's the first one. No water in the sky. Correct?
Yeah.
The clouds are not
And
loaded, so brahmachari is no longer loaded with the headache. He is enjoying it. Okay. Then
next is Prabhuji weeds.
the weeds with the ravi. What does it mean?
Prabhuji, unwanted children.
Are not formed. Why? Because the devotion service again. Hana?
Yes.
Like weeds in the solitary, as soon as they attain to the stage of become solitary, as soon as they come to the stage of devotion service. The devotion service for a brahmachari no longer allowed. For a grihastha, he able to control his sex life. It doesn't produce children's like 1 dozen, 2 dozen without any care. Correct? He can produce, but he's very difficult for him to take care. So he's able to, or voluntarily family planning happens. He doesn't see weed means unwanted children. So when there is no devotion service, he's producing all unwanted children. Correct? Varna
Yes.
Shankara. But when he's a devotee and he's training his child properly, the child is producing are not weeds. They're good. Correct? Weed means unwanted.
They're like flowers.
Huh?
They're like the flowers.
Yeah, they are flowers. See, Manoj, Mataji, they're like flowers. They're not like weeds. Good. Good. Okay, so that is done for the 4 things are happening. Let us see what are the 4 things here. 1, 2, the weed, muddy roads and field dry up. What is that muddy roads and field dry up? The third one, Vanaprastha as a voluntary avoid cleaning themselves, allow the beards and nails to go, no longer feel the discomfort of the burden. They in the service of the Lord. Muddy roads and field dry up. The 4 features are compared to the 4 orders of life. So muddy roads and field dry up. What is the meaning?
That is the vanaprasthas. They don't feel the burden of for their body to be clean, and their sexual urges also dry up. So when they are in devotional service, so it becomes
Urge
easier
for
for them.
gratification dries up, you can say. And about the 4th one, ponds of water become crystal clear. What does it mean? Where it is connected.
That
The
is
mendicants go to refrain from sex life, no longer for sexual infixity. Mind becomes purified on the mendicant. Okay, na? So
Yes.
basically all the 4,
The God consciousness become full clear.
Yeah. So when God consciousness develops, brahmacharis very easily carry the orders to the spiritual master. It's no longer burden. The grihasthas, which are with the opposite sex and all the comforts of life, are able to restrain themselves. And the vanaprasthas, which are supposed to do austerity, they will easily do. And the sannyasa, which are supposed to fix themselves and be free from sex desire, their mind becomes purified. Okay, na? So connected to Krishna, all the 4 varnashramas or stages, they feel wonderful. They end devotional service. When they connect to devotional service, so Prabhupada is saying a devotional service is essential in all the 4. Without this, it becomes, Prabhupada says, burdens and duties, and in the age of Kali, and what it becomes? Shopkeepers. You have seen that? Did you have an occasion, Nupur Mataji, where you had to go outside your house, your mother said, get me 10 brahmanas, and you collect even children's, old people and all, relatives or some neighbors and bring them, and in some function you had to sit and feed them? You had any
yes,
occasion?
yes, yes.
We also had.
My mom. Yeah, my mom does Mahalakshmi Vrat, and I think every Thursday Vrat, and then we have to celebrate it. So they have to
And
call people who are either married or not married, something like that.
whatever, you have to bring 10 Brahmana born people, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Particularly male, and make them sit and feast them to the neck, to the nose, you have to feast them. And actually, it becomes like shopkeepers, Just like sometimes you go to Dham also, they say, I'm a Brahmana, you give me some dakshina. So that's okay, you can give, but it's very rare to meet a genuine Brahmana.
Mm-hmm.
This time was very nice experience. They've been going through Kusum Sarovar. There was one person, elderly man with white beard and looking very handsome, even though he's 70, 75 like that. You know that some people look good. Very nice smile he had in his face. And we watered the Kusum Sarovar because other team was coming. So maybe half an hour we were standing there. He did not speak one word. He looked at us once or twice and smiled. We didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. He was peacefully walking up and down his Kusum Sarovar. Then a Dr. Shisha came in and he saw him. He said, "This man, last time, very nicely explained Kusum Sarovar." So I said, "Ask him." So we will hear from him. So we went to him. I said, "No, no, no, आपका परिक्रम लेट हो जाएगा, आप लोग चलिए." He was not, wanting to jump in.
Nursing
He
supervisor,
said,
please pick up
5 minutes,
line 1.
please, can you
Nursing
explain?
supervisor, please pick up line 1.
Okay. So he said, 5 minutes, can you explain? So, okay, 5 minutes we have. Then he explained within 5 minutes, brief the whole thing about Kusum Sarovar. So well, we wanted to hear more. Okay, and then we were going. The Shisha came back to give donation. No, 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 it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Then he pushed in his pocket and came. As first time I saw a real panda. Correct? He's a genuine Brahmana, detached, taking care of the holy place, keeping it clean, neat. And people come, he wants to talk, but he's not pushing himself on people. So this is a real Brahmana. So it should not be a shopkeeper. Oh, I'm a Brahmana, give me dakshina. Proper they become business of various shopkeepers. So when Varnashrama is a cooperation to serve Krishna. The very principle of Varnashrama is cooperation. Different people have different abilities, they are cooperating to serve Krishna. If you forget why Varnashrama is created, then Varnashrama becomes a headache. It loses its own meaning, correct? And that is the present day situation. Okay. One more, Nupur Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What do you say? You stop or one more?
Are you okay, Prabhu? Are you okay, Prabhuji?
Till
Is it?
10:30, 10 more minutes. One more.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. What do you feel, Pankaj?
Yeah, no problem. No problem for me.
You will sleep 12 o'clock, no problem. The beautiful white clouds free. I'm actually I was feeling tired today, but Krishna consciousness is so beautiful. You feel refreshed as you discuss. Anna?
Yes.
The beautiful white clouds, freed from the burden of water distribution, floated in midair like mendicant free from all family responsibilities. Yes, Manoj, your turn.
As long as one is attached to the so-called responsibilities of family burdens, he is always full of cares and anxieties about meeting his family expenses. The four orders of social life, as designed in the Varnashrama system, are very scientific and cooperative. In student life, one is taught the primary principles of the human form of life. One who enters the householder's life can execute the duties of a family man because he has already been trained for this job in the Brahmachari ashrama. After 50 years of age, the householder retires from family life and prepares for the life of sannyasa. The householder is duty bound to maintain the members of all three of the other ashramas, namely the brahmacharis, the vanaprasthas, and the sannyasis. Therefore, every member of society was given a chance to retire for a higher order of spiritual culture, and the householders neglected no one. The brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis all curtailed their necessities to the minimum, and therefore no one could begrudge maintaining them in the bare necessities of life. In Kali Yuga, however, the entire system has gone topsy-turvy. The student lives in luxury at the expense of the father or the father-in-law. When the educated, indulgent student becomes a householder by the strength of university degrees, it requires money by all means for all kinds of bodily comfort, and therefore he cannot spare even a penny for the so-called vanaprasthas and sannyasis. The vanaprasthas and sannyasis nowadays are those who were unsuccessful in family life. Thus, the so-called sannyasis try to construct another home in the name of sannyasa ashrama and glide down into all sorts of luxury at the expense of others. So all these varnas and ashramas have now become so many transcendental frauds. But that does not mean that there is no reality in them. One should not conclude that there is no good money simply because one has met with counterfeit coins. The sannyasa ashrama is meant for complete freedom from all anxieties, and it is meant for uplifting the fallen souls who are merged in materialism. Unless the sannyasi is freed from all cares and anxieties, like a white cloud, it is difficult for him to do anything good for society.
Okay. So that is a beautiful purport. Nupur Mata, you have done this one also?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, we have done it.
We at least reached till we have done. Okay. So we should not be too much attached, full of chaos. Scientific cooperation. So in student life, we have to one is taught the primary principles, the time of training. Grahastha life, you take care of the duties. You have to take care of the duties of family man. And he already had tasted Krishna consciousness, so he can able to handle. He will not drown. After 50 years of age, prepare for a life of sannyasa. But today there are no forests to go, so vanaprastha is basically you go for more pilgrimages, more read and chant, and gradually, withdraw, hand over the charge to the children. And the householders in the Vedic time, that is how the system was. The householders used to maintain the brahmachari, vanaprastha, and the sannyasis. They had no means of livelihood. Every member of society given a chance to retire for a higher order, and the householder neglect no one. The brahmachari, vana, sannyasi all curtailed their necessities to the minimum. So they were not, they were just minimal. They just take what they barely need. Their expenses are very limited. Brahmacharis, personal expenses. No brigade maintaining than the bare necessities. Kali Yuga, how the entire system has gone topsy-turvy. So what is the situation of Kali Yuga? The student lives in the life of luxury, so there is no training at the expense of the father or the father-in-law. You know that? What do they call as ghar jabai? Huh? Sometimes we say, no, you are the damad ho kya? Because damad gets so much care when he goes to the house of the TK. The become householder student of university degree. He gets some degree and he becomes householder. Acquire money by all kind of bodily comfort, no higher purpose. And doesn't care for vanaprastha and sannyasis. He has no interest in that. All those
And no
who are
money left.
unsuccessful. Huh?
And no money left, but because you're always spending on material things, they have no money left to give to the
Yeah.
vanaprasthas and
See, there
sannyasis.
is any amount of money you're earning, there are also always expenses at that level. Things change. The car you travel changes, the kind of house you stay changes, the kind of food you eat changes, and the hotels where you have parties changes. So any amount of money you're earning, there are ways to spend it. Anna? Vanaprastha sannyasis. And the vanaprastha sannyasis, they're also jokers. They are the ones who are generally unsuccessful. That's why many people ask me, we had some problem. Why did you give up your studies? Some problem you had. So people generally think there was some frustration, and because of it, you take to spiritual life. And then the joke is the sannyasis. So they construct another house in the name of sannyas, and they enjoy all kind of luxury at the expense of others. That big joke was there. What is the name of the person? Ram Rahim, correct?
Ram Rahim.
Many
He became an example
ashram.
of that. Where there was any austerity visible in his system, all comforts at the expense of others. All these wonders and ashram now become so much, Prabhupada says, are unfortunately translated into frauds. But doesn't mean there is no reality. No, just because there is no good money, doesn't mean, suppose you meet a counterfeit coin, doesn't mean now you don't go to market. You have to take direction from the scripture. And based on that, you have to judge whether the sadhu is genuine or bogus. The same way, just like money is bad sometimes, you have to judge based on RBI guidelines. And then Prabhupada is
Today's
saying, sannyasa ashram is meant for free from all anxieties, and he should be free from all anxieties, cares, and then he can do any good to the society. Okay? He should be actually happy and satisfied. Then he can do something. Oh, this one also we did. They speak sometimes, don't speak.
This also done, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
This one also. I think this was the last one we did. 36.
This is the one we have to do next time. 37.
Mm.
With the inauguration of the autumn season, the rough sea becomes calm and quiet. It's like a philosopher after self-realization, no longer troubled by the modes of nature. We do this or we start from this next time?
Prabhuji, it will be late for you. Yeah, we'll do next time. 37.
Yeah, tired.
Not tired. After this, what happens? We feel ecstatic. We don't feel like ending. It becomes so ecstatic.
It will be too late for you.
With the inauguration of the autumn season, the rough sea becomes calm and quiet, just like a philosopher after self-realization, no longer troubled by the modes of nature. The result of self-realization is the cessation of the storms of desire and lust, which are the products of modes of ignorance and passion. The cessation of storm does not mean that the sea becomes inactive. In the storms subside, the work of navigation takes place smoothly. According to Indian system of navigation, the ceremony on the seashore known as a coconut day.
I think we
On the
did this.
coconut day, the sea is offered coconut because she has become peaceful from their day on seagoing vessels sail to foreign countries. The three modes of material nature divide society in two different spheres, one external and another introspective. Man is dominant a mode of ignorance and passion, externally active in desire and lust. When absorbed in desire and lust are called asuras, and always chasing after women and money. For the sake of women and money, the asuras exploit every resource of economic development. As a result of the asuric civilization, entire human society becomes like a stormy sea with no trace of peace and prosperity. Too much of an external view of the world gives rise to an overly large-scale and difficult type of industry and trade known as ugra karma. The word ugra means hard and difficult, and karma means task. The development of hard and difficult industrial undertakings always hinders the progressive cultivation of human spirit. Asuric leaders of society never retire from such lustful undertaking unless killed by the laws of nature. For them, there is no question of retirement or of cultivating the human spirit. But many in the mode of goodness have an introspective mind, and after the regulated struggle for existence, they ripe at old age and engage their time in mode of goodness and introspective. We did this. They retire ripe old age, engage in cultivating human spirit. Hey, we read this, no? We said introspection requires saptaguna. According to the Varnashram principle, it is compulsory to retire after the age of 50 without considering other circumstances. Business offices close at fixed hour no matter what balance of work remains. We did this, Rupert, remember? Rupert Mataji?
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Clothed at a fixed time, correct? Similarly, after age of 50, one must retire from the active external life and devote himself to the retrospective cultivation of this world. This retirement must be compulsory so the foolish old man no longer disturb the peaceful progress. In the modern democratic government, no one should be elected after the age of 50, otherwise the storm of the ocean of innocence cannot be stopped to allow the ships of boat to sail back to God. The greatest enemy of the progressive spiritual culture in human society, the old forces of the political party which are blind themselves and try to lead others blind men. They bring about disaster in a peaceful human society. The members of the younger generation are not as stupid as the old politicians. They were state law, the foolish politician must retire from active life at the age of 50. We read this, no?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Huh?
Prabhuji. We read it. Yes,
Yes,
Remember,
yes,
Prabhuji.
we
Manoj?
read it.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Or at least you look at the shloka.
This also partitioning, Prabhuji, we have done.
Mm.
I think 38.
39 we have to go.
Next time, we can. 38, I don't remember discussing well. We do this. I'm feeling refreshed now. But how is your people? I don't know what is your conditions.
I'm I'm at work for 1 more hour, so I'm okay.
Oh, you're in office now.
Yeah, but I'm alone, so it's okay.
Pankaj,
Yeah, for me also it's fine. No problem.
well, Manoj is fine.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
This 38 you've done. What do you feel?
Yes, Prabhuji, but let's read it more.
It's beautiful now. After the rainy season, the farmers begin to rebuild the partitioning wall of the paddy field so that the water will be conserved, just as the yogis try to use the conserve energy for self-realization. Who's going to read? Chalo, Nupur or Manoj, one of you take it.
You want me to read, Prabhuji, or Manoj
Yeah,
is
any one
reading?
of you. Yeah.
Manoj, you want to read? Oh. The living being is the marginal energy of the absolute personality of Godhead, and he can spend his conserved energy either externally or internally. When spent internally, the energy is identified with the internal energy of personality of Godhead. But the same conserved energy, when spent for his external energy, is identified with that external energy. All energies, internal, external, and marginal, are emanations from him, the Supreme, and they act differently to prove diversity in unity. The unity is the Lord, and the energies represent diversity. The Lord is so powerful that he can do anything and everything merely by his sweet will alone. As mentioned above, everything is done by his energies in a natural way, with full knowledge and complete perfection. That is the information we have from Vedic literatures. The internal energy and the marginal energy are of the same superior quality, but the external energy is inferior in quality. That is the information we have from Bhagavad Gita. Because the living entity is classified as marginal energy and is of same quality as the internal energy, it is quite natural for him to cooperate with the internal energy. But when the living entity prefers to cooperate with the external energy, he is put into difficulty. By the process called pratyahara, yoga diverts our energies from external to internal. The energy of our senses is meant to be diverted, not stopped. The senses are to be purified so that they serve the Lord instead of disturbing his settled harmony. The entire cosmic harmony is a settled fact by the will of the Supreme. So we must find the Supreme will in every action of the cosmic situation. That is the instruction of Ishopanishad. The human life is an opportunity to understand this cosmic harmony, and therefore our conserved energy, which is likened to the conserved water in the paddy field, must be used for this purpose only. As there is no chance of rain from the sky in autumn, we shall not immediately have chance to get human body again if we spend our conserved energy for sense enjoyment. The senses have their utility for the service of the Lord, and if properly engaged, they can reach the highest perfection by being directly engaged in the service of the Lord in His personal presence. When the living entity thus goes back to Godhead, and engages in the personal service of the Lord, he is said to have attained samsiddhi parama, the highest perfection. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mam upetya punarjanma dukhalayam asvastam napnuvanti mahamana samsiddhim pararam gata. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection.
So what are the things you got from this, both of you? So very, very nice. Pankaj discussed
Very,
this. Huh? Very, very nice purport.
yeah,
See,
very,
Prabhupada, always you
very.
feel like when I read Prabhupada books, you don't feel like a father who's very affectionate, guiding you with great affection.
mm,
What are the things he said which are touching in this purport?
the whole moral of this purport is like that we have limited energy, we have conserved energy, which we have to use it in knowing the Supreme, or in engaging in the devotional service of the Supreme, instead of
Yeah.
wasting that energy for material enjoyment.
And what
Because
did he call it? Ugra karma. This whole, it's all
no,
exhausted. Previous
oh
shloka
yeah,
I talked about Ugra karma, correct?
yeah.
So why it
And
is,
then
what is the nature being compared to conserved energy? What is being compared to?
the partitions of the paddy fields and the water
Conserved
in the
energy.
paddy
You have
field,
to
yeah,
use it carefully
conserved.
now, correct?
Yes,
And what is the danger if you don't use your human life
because
for service?
there is no rain. As there is no rain in autumn, they said that the human life doesn't come very
You may
often,
not
so
get
you have
human
to.
life again, correct? If you are careless in using your life for sense gratification, Krishna says there is no need for human life for him, because human life is for self-development, but he is not using. So, okay, correct, no?
Yes,
He
Prabhu.
doesn't need to be given human life again. Just like suppose you have a mobile and you only use call feature on it, call and receive call and call, then there is no need of a good mobile. You can have that free phone of Reliance. In India, the Reliance has launched a free phone. You pay 1,500 and you get back that money after some time. It's a free phone. So you need, that is enough for most of the people. Just feature phone is enough. You call and receive. Most of the people who are old, they buy all big, big mobiles. They don't know how to switch on anything in it. They don't know. That's a difficulty. Okay? So the farmers became to rebuild the partitioning wall so that water will be conserved. We just try, the yogis try to use the conserve energy for self-realization. Very, very minimum energy we have, minimum time we have in a day. And then another thing Prabhupada uses a very, very nice word. He said cooperate. Correct? We can cooperate with either the will of the Lord, with the Lord and the mission in this world. He says it keeps talking about cosmic harmony, cosmic harmony. Did you notice that? In this purport, he uses the word like that. And can you see that new word is entire cosmic harmony. Harmony, because all the devatas and the Lord are very quite clear why they created the world, why you are here. It's like some patient comes to the hospital. There is a total harmony in the hospital for the mission of the hospital. The people have to get treated. But then the patients there don't take benefit of that. They're not taking medicine. Then they cause it disturbance. So the entire cosmic harmony is a subtle fact by the will of the Supreme. So we must find the Supreme will in every action of the cosmic situation. That is the instruction. The human life, you can understand the cosmic harmony, the real purpose of creation, why you are here, understand the whole harmony. And should be used for this purpose only, to cooperate with the will of the Lord. So you have a choice to cooperate. UK Prabhupada says very nicely. He says living entity prefers, when he uses words like that, he's, giving you all honor. See, the amount of honor Krishna gives you, nobody gives. Somebody values you, nobody values you as just Krishna. You chose to be independent of him, and Krishna respected that. And he created a whole middle world with all details to fulfill your stupid desire. But he honored your freedom. What do you say, Nupur Mata? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. I like this is very interesting, because he's classified as internal energy, marginal energy, and external energy. So he says the living entity is marginal energy, and it is natural for him to deviate to internal energy rather than go to external energy.
And it is his
Just as
choice, Prabhupada said, if he
it is his choice, yeah.
prefers, if you like, many lectures, Prabhupada said, if you like, you can chant Hare Krishna. So when you say like that, say some visitor is there, you say, hey, you must chant Hare Krishna. You not do that. Nobody likes like that. And you say, if you like, you can chant. And you say, okay, I'll chant. What do you say? Isn't it?
Actually more effective.
Huh?
Actually more effective.
Yeah, because nobody likes to be pushed. If he likes, you're giving you honor, and you should give honor when Krishna gives honor. Krishna did not force. Correct? Krishna can force you, but he did not force. Okay, you didn't want to stay with me. No, I don't want. Suppose the child house, I don't want. No, beta, it will not be good. Try to understand. That means, when you're talking like that, how much honor you're giving to his freedom. You're respecting his freedom. You know it is not good for him. You know what he's going to do is stupid. But you're giving, okay. And when it comes to the middle world, you should cooperate with the harmony. Because middle world is the jail, there are rules of dharma you should follow. So Krishna gives you an opportunity to be independent of him, but you to follow the system here. But you do not follow the system, then only you're punished. Otherwise, Krishna is not punishing you for your. You get the point, Manoj?
Yes, Prabhuji.
When you because if you go to a hospital and follow the rules and regulations of the hospital, okay, your desire to be independent of the Lord is satisfied. At the same time, you are gradually reformed and you go back. But you say, I'll not follow rules and regulations of the hospital. You cannot do that. Krishna has not given you a sanction to break rules and he has not given that sanction. He'll become upset. That is not his sanction. You ask Krishna, I don't want to live with you. Krishna said, okay, you don't want to live with me, I'll give you an opportunity to be independent of me. And he's not going to punish you for that. But when he is given an opportunity, also he has given you the restriction that you have to follow the rules of dharma. Correct? You should not drink, you should not smoke, you should not do illicit sex, you should not eat meat. He has given you some 4 regulative principles. That you have to follow. But you say, I'll not follow that. Then you be ready for punishment. Then you go to punish him. You get the meaning, Nupur Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So in that way we can understand. In one angle, there are many angles to it. So the energy of the senses is diverted, not stopped. You can't stop it. So, but don't disturb the settled harmony to serve the Lord instead of disturbing the settled harmony. Whole harmony is, you're supposed to, suppose in a jail, you start breaking and create a mess in the jail, then definitely the army will come in, so you'll be beaten up. You cannot disturb the settled harmony. And the entire cosmic harmony is settled fact by the will. We should try to find the supreme will. Yeah, any comment by Manoj Nupur? Then we close now. It's something you try to understand, something you're not able to understand in this shloka. Yes, Manoj, what would you like to say in 1 or 2 lines briefly?
Yes, Prabhuji. I mean, um, it's important to keep our focus and not to lose our way when we are not in the association, Prabhuji.
Correct. No, not in the association. See, Prabhupada said, if you chant 16 rounds, no power on the earth can touch you. So at least you finish our rounds in the morning. You do that every day.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
That's great. And then, you can sometimes just read a few pages and then, mark, make notes, because some of the instructions are very nice. You can note down, if you like, Prabhupada say, if you like, and they say, don't disturb the harmony, because there is a purpose of creation. Participate in the purpose of creation. And creation has two facets. One side gives you opportunity to be independent of the Lord, because you're not seeing the Lord in this world. Other side, you have to follow the rules and regulations. Correct? So if you do that, yes, that's fine. But if you don't do that, then the punishment will come. So try to use the conserve energy for self. You have little energy in human form of life. So better cooperate with the internal energy of the Lord instead of cooperating with the external energy. Yes, Tupur Mataji, today any discussion, anything touched you?
Yes, this last one was an eye opener,
Which one?
This last one.
This last what we read today?
Yes. And then the other previous ones also, like how they've described the Vanaprastha, how the society should be, and then how it is like topsy-turvy in this age, which is also an eye-opener.
Yeah, that was a nice analysis, Children
Yes.
are not taught any, austerities, no training.
Full degradation has come.
Huh?
Full degradation has come. Like,
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah,
was telling very nice. What are you telling, Nupur?
No, I was just saying that all these verses are equally powerful, like every one of them. So
Yeah, see what
enjoyable
they're
to read.
doing. They're doing their purpose. They are guiding us, putting us back on the track, inspiring us, rededicating us. I was
I
just
don't
reading
think so.
about.
Such detailed explanation, the one which actually you understand. Like, I don't think so. I've read it in any other religious book. I mean, I don't know, but I've
With
not seen
patiently, very
such.
patiently, covering all aspects of your, intellect, and
Yes, yes,
if anybody reads this book, what is going to happen? Okay, I'm going to become a
Ev-
devotee,
yes. Even a logical person will be attracted because it is so detailed, and I don't know. It's just explained so nicely.
I imagine Prabhupada had read this book. But basically, he wrote this book before he went to America. Can you imagine this? This whole now just go to this proper stage of consciousness. He's in India. His movement has not started. Just imagine how he wrote this book before. I told you this. Do you know the story of this book, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Nupur
No,
Mataji?
no,
Huh?
I don't know.
Pankaj?
no, I don't know.
Huh?
No, I don't. I also don't know.
See, what happened was that Prabhupada was in India and was desperate to go out of India because in India nobody took up to Krishna consciousness. Okay? People are not at all gave him any attention. And he decided that let it fulfill the way Guru told. Guru said, preach to the English speaking people, indicating he to go to the West. So now he said, what can I do? So he decided to get out of India. Because he's not thinking of a small thing he always had. He was very respected, very, very vast. But that he wanted a worldwide movement. Prabhupada wanted to change the way world thinks. This lies a very big thing he wants to do. So he decided it should go. It has to go west. So then he was not getting any opportunity, and opportunity came to go to Japan. So Prabhupada immediately wrote this whole book. This is actually very poetic, very beautiful, This whole book he wrote. And he wrote to some person in Japan. And when he read this, he was struck because of beautiful poetry. Amazing, Anybody will say, this is beautiful. They're comparing every season aspects of something. And he has written, just imagine, his same clear consciousness. This is much before he left to America, in only a 70-year-old. Exactly, I'll get you how many years, which is the date he wrote, because the letters are there. So the person in Japan who read this, he said, this is far out. We definitely accept this paper. Please come for this conference, some conference on philosophy. So Prabhupada said, I want to come, but I have no ways to buy ticket. Can you arrange my ticket? So that person said, I'm sorry, you have to bring your own. You have to proper ran pillar to post, somehow get ticket to go, and nobody helped him, just imagine. And then after that, Prabhupada, also during that time when he had written the letter, he has said, one thing, I want ticket and I want you to get some painter from China, from that Japan in your area, some painter to paint this thing. Okay? So when the ISKCON movement formed later, he came to America, where you're all there, and the movement began by God's grace. It exploded, and thousands of devotees, the movement. So Prabhupada visited Japan also, So sometimes Prabhupada told devotees this happened actually. He went to Japan actually for opening a center in Tokyo and organizing his printing of books there with Dai Nippon. So when Prabhupada went there at that moment, he told the devotees. The devotees remembered, they felt so much. My God, you struggled so much. They felt so bad. So they got a Chinese painter and got the paintings done. So this book has, interestingly, and they published the book finally. So therefore, this is only one book where the paintings are a little different. See, these are all Chinese painters. Can you see this? We saw this recently, which is a picture totally Chinese on man standing.
The mendicant, it was up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for the mendicant. So devotees got the paintings done, and somebody who was, famous in China, in Chinese art, in that area. Yeah, look at it. It's totally features are like a Chinese, Prabhupada got it, the devotees got it done, just to fulfill his desire. But you can see, reading the purport, how sweet it is. The devotees love Prabhupada because he gave such, beautiful message. And not only in the books he was rather more strict, but personally he was extremely kind. Even he was more affectionate and compassionate personally. So, when somebody is like that, people just give their life. Correct? That's how they gave their life. It's not easy, Giving life is not a joke. Correct? Isn't it?
Yes.
It's not a joke, because they were mad. And I was in proper disappearance in Vrindavan, and we had, I think, more than 50 proper disciples, one after another speaking. And we could see he has touched their hearts. So 50 years are over. He left in 1977, so 40 years are over of his disappearance. 50 years since most of them met them. They still remember him as it was yesterday, and they explain everything. And one of the Bhakti Charu Maharaj was telling in the last days, Prabhupada went to Rishikesh, and he said that now it's time to leave the world. So he told the disciples that I will go to Vrindavan, I'll leave the body. So he said there was total disaster everywhere. People are so pain. Prabhupada said, why you are all pain? Whatever you need to go back to Krishna, I have given in the books. Don't worry. Don't be pain. And then they came to Vrindavan. The mood was very, very, sad, because everybody came to know Prabhupada has come to leave the body. And then Prabhupada called the cook, the Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who gave the offering, and said, Prabhupada told me, now don't cook from tomorrow. I have no more longer any appetite now. I can't eat anything. And he was totally devastated. I was so touched by hearing that they really loved him so much they loved. Why? You can see the attitude in his purpose. His attitude is always to affectionate, correct? You're all struggling, if you're honest. And here is somebody who's very affectionately saying, if you like, you can chant Hare Krishna, and guiding. And they say the books he was actually very strict. Personally, he was 100 times more soft. So the devotees felt so much, care, love, affection to take them to Krishna consciousness. And he was hardly sleeping. He used to work 22 hours. So he won the heart of the devotees in that way. It was a very nice. We heard Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and then they said we all requested Prabhupada, and then finally Prabhupada said, okay, I'm going to stay. I cook. They were the delight in the whole kitchen. Everybody started cooking for Prabhupada. But anyway, the time was to go, but things were shifting here in this way. So very nice to hear from so many disciples about how he had touched their life. Some people read different purports, very sweet purports of Prabhupada. Somebody did that. There was a Gargamuni, one of the person Prabhupada used to call Gargamani. He used to bring a lot of, he brought the money for building the Vrindavan temple. His name was Garga Muni. Because he brought so much money for that, his name became proper, changed name to Garga Muni. He was Garga Muni. So he came and spoke. And then Loknath Maharaj came and spoke. Gopal Krishna Maharaj came and spoke. These are all now the leaders of ISKCON in India. And then so many devotees came and spoke. It was very nice to hear. Morning time with the proper disciples, and then Abhisheka. That was 3 hours, and I had to get up because my legs were broken. I did Vrindavan Parikrama, there was so much pain. And then I went refreshed, and oh my God, 25,000 people they feasted in Vrindavan temple. 25,000 people. Whole town came practically. It's Vrindavan event they have created. Whole town comes. They have their Goshala, the acres of land. Tents are put up, men here, women here. And huge arrangement for prasadam. Huge. Thousands and thousands of people had prasadam. So that was very nice. And our prasadam, you can't imagine. If you pay 1,000 rupees also, you'll not get that much. So beautiful prasadam. So many items, and they were serving again. So I felt so nice. They still remember proper disappearance, and they are, isn't it? That's the way of festival. You call the whole town.
Yes.
And they said that, the day proper departed, they took his body out, and whole Vrindavan town came to take darshan, last darshan of a sadhu when he leaves the body. And they took the body, even, they were taking to the temples, and all the pujaris, everybody came running to have darshan of Prabhupada. So that was very nice.
Teresa, please pick up lines.
Okay. Manoj, you are sure now you have done this much?
Sure about what, Prabhuji?
That we have done till here?
Yeah.
38.
38.
Yeah.
Wow, 38 we have done. 39?
Day and night during
I
the
don't think we
day.
have done that. But it's
Yes.
very interesting to study next time. In the autumn, there is a gulf of difference between the day and the night. In the day, the extreme heat of the sun is unbearable, but the night, the moonlight is extremely soothing and refreshing. Similarly, Lord Shri Krishna is soothing for both the gopis and the mundane man in illusion, except body and the soul. Then how many more are there? 39, 40. Doesn't end only this book. 41. But we don't want it to end this book. What do you say? Nupur Mataji? 42?
No, it's nice.
Yeah, this book is so nice. You came
Prabhuji,
to know
I
the
forgot
history.
to send you my email. Can you send this book? I'll send you my email.
Yeah, send me. Take it.
Yeah.
43. Oh, you said you wanted to read this book, no?
Yeah.
45. 46. 47. 48. 48 we have. We easily have at least, today we had a long session.
10.
But it's started late,
10 more.
some guests were there. So they came to me. Actually, what happened today, I was feeling a little dull. So I didn't go down. I told Sridhar, you take class. So I told him to take class in Kannada, because some people, they come on Sundays, public, they don't know English. So Sridhar took Kannada class. So I was relaxing here. Then the class started. But as this class is so sweet, we feel refreshed as it builds up, correct? You feel as if you are in the fresh morning. You don't feel sleepy only. I don't get sleep for some time, because you keep thinking of all the things you read, Hana?
Yes.
So
हरे कृष्ण हेल्थ कैसा है अभी?
Oh, he is by
How is it?
miracle. He's okay. Manoj? Hey,
Prabhuji?
I told you, Manupur Mataji,
What, Prabhuji?
that Sridhara was having a problem.
No.
He had a huge cervical disc slip at 6th and 7th on the neck.
Oh, okay.
So bad that 2.5 months he was flat, no movement.
Yes.
And he showed
Yep.
to the spinal surgeon. They said, maybe we go for an operation, but sometime let us try conservative method. I remember the boy called Raghavendra was there that time. Raghavendra. In KMC,
No.
Preeti was there when the boy called Raghavendra was there. Okay, anyway, so he is also specialist, super specialist on the brain. We told all of them now to resign because all their advisors used this. Our Keshava, you remember Keshava, Mataji? Keshav Prabhu?
Okay.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So
Yeah.
Keshav Prabhu, he said that don't try all these things, let us go to Kerala. I was said it's all waste of time. What is going to help? He has broken, it's a fracture. Fracture means what it will repair by, you're putting mud on the back. What the Ayurvedic people will do, put some oil, some mud and all.
Yeah,
That's
the
what they
massage
do.
and all.
Huh?
Some kind of massage and all they will do. Some,
No. They didn't do any massage for him this time. They were giving him different medications on the back. So they took him there. And then, can you believe it? With all the medication and all, within 15 days, he was okay. And
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Ayurveda is not like just any other medicine. There are some very good principles where we can use.
you have to get a good doctor. Okay? It's not
Yes,
extinct.
yes,
It's not
yes.
extinct.
It's not extinct. It's very
The,
knowledge.
to some extent,
Yeah.
it's alive. And what they did was that all the medicines in Kerala they make, and another thing, they don't mix with allopathy. Because most of the people want urgent, effect. But when you
Yes.
it does take time to become balanced. Sick means it's not just suppressing the symptoms. Your body has become weak. Why you're falling sick? Interesting, Ayurveda doesn't talk about bacteria and virus. They say, no, they are always there. You should be strong. There is no mention. They make your system balanced so you can take care.
Yeah, I believe in this holistic science because
And you
I've
can
been in
believe.
the
No,
allopathy
this is a
side.
miracle in front of us. They can't believe. Even Manjula Mataji can't believe this. She said, let us wait and watch. I said, wait and watch? He's normal. In fact, the joke happened. His sisters landed up from Bangalore after coming to know all this. They just rushed, took a flight and landed up because their brother is from 3 months is bedridden. They landed up. And he has recovered and came back. 15 days he was okay, actually. In fact, I was calling him and from here. I said, how are you? I said, fine. I said, are you on bed? No, I'm sitting on the chair. I'm fine now. I said, don't sit in the chair. You should take rest. I said, Prabhu, I'm fine. There is no need to sit on the chair or lie on the bed. He was sitting on the chair and reading. He wanted to read. Krishna gave him a opportunity. He was nicely reading there. Then what happened? He came back. So his sisters landed up and they said, what happened? I said, I don't know what happened, but he's okay now. And the scans shows scans and they're seeing the scans, all slip disc, blah, 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 what all talk they do. And then the doctors were asking me to do 7 lakh rupee operation, and which is so dangerous because they touch spinal cord, you're finished. Correct? It is very dangerous. A slight mistake,
That
you
is
lose your hands and legs. Huh?
yes, and it's in the neck. It's very dangerous.
Very
That
dangerous.
is why even doctors they say no, let's try conservative first rather
If they
than
try
go and do
conservative,
surgery.
but
Yeah,
they do it because it's a good money making exercise. So 7 lakhs is not a small one.
of course you have to find a good doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, in the neurosurgeons, they said 95% we try to hold it, but if it doesn't improve, we'll go for it. And he was not improving. There was zero improvement in 2.5 months. He was pain. Even if I call him, say, can you sit down for 5 minutes? I will discuss something. After 5 minutes, because he is my right hand, everything he does. After
Oh
5
my
minutes,
God.
I like to lie down. I can't sit. I'm paining. I said, my God, what do I do? Now my main man is down. I was in so much desperation. And when he went there to Kerala Ayurvedic, I thought, so I wasted my time. Another 1 month is gone, waste. He comes back, then again we have to do surgery or maybe try physiotherapy and other conservative methods. But a waste of 1 month is going to happen. I was totally convinced this 1 month is waste. But within 15 days of landing there, and they were putting certain paste on his back, made of different herbs. Okay? And they were saying that actually what we feel is that there is a swelling on the muscles. And the
Yes.
second thing is that is physically very weak. He was only 45 kilos. He is a 6 feet
Oh.
tall. So it's physically become very weak. Therefore, these things are going to happen one by one. We have to give him strength, number one. And number two, there is a swelling here that is pressing on the spinal cord.
Nose.
Yeah, there. So let us remove the swelling by this herbs. It will pull out, make it heal that area of the
Yeah.
muscle. That was their analysis. And we were all laughing on it. I don't know what, swelling on the muscle? That's a slip disc. The scan is showing so. But actually, within 15 days, the swelling got over, and he was comfortable. And we asked him, and they said, "Prabhu, pain is over." In fact, on the Govardhan Puja day, you saw the photos of Govardhan Puja or the video?
I
Yeah.
think you had put, yeah.
Yeah, I just made. I think I have to improve that video. People are saying, "Why you make it 8 times faster?" Because I know people can't see anything more than 2-3 minutes, so I just crushed everything.
Mm.
It was very, very ecstatic festival, a huge festival. And he was dancing there. And his sisters were
Oh,
running
wow.
behind him, both elder sisters. Don't dance, you just come out of hospital. I'm fine, I'm fine. It was a very funny situation to see all that. So you see the miracle. Now, but still we are telling him 2 months not to go
Yes.
out and do some big exercise or holding weight.
Don't lift weights, please. Yes.
Don't lift
No.
weight and don't lift buckets, or buckets are so heavy.
Oh,
Don't
no,
lift
no,
them.
no.
Just 2 months, relax yourself and let it not relapse. But one thing, you got a shock of the life. Now what they say, they're saying let us wait and watch. They can't believe it. I said not wait and watch. You resign now. You close your hospital. You're simply wasting public money. You
He
see,
should gain
it's
weight now.
huh?
He should gain his weight now.
Yeah, no, it's gain his weight. They have given him some medication for that, but it's difficult to do that, so we are still struggling. If we can do that, it will be nice. We have the milk, we have to boil in milk some medicines with rice and make it thick, like we used to eat sweet rice.
Oh,
He
I still remember the sweet rice you all used to make in the temple.
So the same sweet rice you make, don't put sugar on it, okay? And you put the paste of that all through the body, and let it be there half an hour. After he gives slight oil on the body, then put that. They did it for him towards the end. He stayed for 1 month. The last week they did, and they say continue this. This will help your muscles to nourish. But somehow that is too complicated, to put and all that. 2-3 people are needed. So people have not returned. Tomorrow morning they're returning from Vrindavan. I just had a short trip. Others are coming tomorrow morning. So when everybody joins in, I think we should start that also. So they said this will help him gain weight. Apart from they're given medication for improving appetite.
He should have proper prasadam, Prabhu. He doesn't take.
He eats, but he needs more of appetite. I eat, I'm gaining weight. Same food I'm eating. But he eats
He
more.
takes
But
less.
huh?
It takes less, no, compared to other.
No. He eats, but it's not easy to gain weight. Sometimes you don't gain. Some people. Okay. Thank you, Nupur Mataji. I felt so encouraged today. Now I feel like
Thank you, Prabhuji, for coming.
sitting and reading, chanting whole night. At least for you, the day is there to do.
Yes.
Yes.
And at least I was not bored at work. I'm so happy. I was so it's tiring otherwise. Even on Sunday, you have to come and work.
Yes. So, no plan to come to India?
Not right now. Let's see next year.
When you come next year, don't run away. Please tell us.
No. I will tell. I will come for 3 weeks.
You can come, or we can come to join with you some pilgrimage.
Yes, Prabhuji, surely.
Manoj?
I will take 3 weeks and come this time. This Trump
Manoj
is
is
creating all craziness, so it's very, I don't know. Then they don't recommend traveling, but I will come next year for sure.
Take care. Manoj can't travel.
Yeah,
The child is very small. I think for 2
I'll
years.
come in December. I'll come in
Generally,
December.
2 years, don't travel. No? Oh, this December?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's near. Very near. We are in November.
Yes.
Mangalore is very nice climate, Manoj.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Because there it's not cold. North India will be a freezer.
Yeah, it will be very cold. Yeah.
But for you, I think it's not cold because England is very cold.
No, Prabhuji. Even after a week, it felt very cold there as well. But it's fine. Yeah. But Mangalore, that time it used to be very nice.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.